experience the full power of the dark side. Good.
We will deal with your rebel friends soon enough.
What the? Misa back!
Prepare to fire!
Oh no!
Hello and welcome back to Star Wars Beyond the Stars for episode number 48, recorded on Wednesday, October 14th, 2015. I'm your host Fred, aka Sith Lord Korv. And joining me tonight is the commander of Sith Intelligence, Agent Louis Holon.
Hello, Fred. Hello, everyone. YouTube, Twitch, Hitbox. And as always, after a bit of a short leave, it's always time for tea with Sith Intelligence.
Yeah, tea, right. Alcoholic.
Tea, damn it.
And also joining us tonight is our other resident alcoholic, Play the Janitor.
More like altaholic than alcoholic.
Oh, yeah, alcoholic. I meant Captain Kimbray, a.k.a. Paige.
I meant to nothing.
Ah, you're all drunk. I think we should let Play drive.
No.
Remember that one time we let him drive and he just propped his mop up against the steering wheel and took a nap? We almost flew into a star.
No?
But it was a pretty star.
Yeah, I guess. Too bad we couldn't fling Treek into it before we left.
Goopa noopa.
You know,
Here
she'll
she
cling
is.
onto the ship.
I bet you when coffee launches, a lot of people are going to be flinging Treek.
Along with Sketch, Quinn.
And ID10T.
Mako.
Well,
No,
thank
the guys
goodness.
from Bad Feeling Podcast want you to fling her at them.
Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah.
Chuck would just lose her in his beard. Body type 1.
She's only as big as a whisper, but as annoying as they come.
Oh, thank goodness for Talos Drellick. Are you okay?
Okay.
I'm going to be using him as a DPS companion, so he could just run around going, "Are you okay?" every time he's shooting something.
I want to make him tank and be like, "Are you?"
He's confused.
You know, that would be a sight to see, have him tank for you.
He's tanking and constantly asking you if you're okay.
Yeah, I'm back here. You're getting punched in the face. I'm good, though.
Or is it Consular Theron? Like, you know I'm a pacifist, don't you? Make him tank.
He's just there,
Yeah, but keep tanking that Rancor for me. What do you think?
up there, just pistol whipping things. Though the really good one will be Dr. Locken, though. Seeing him tank as a Rakul.
Mm-hmm.
Be flying all over the place, getting aggro on everybody.
Yeah, not having to worry about gear is so sweet.
I want to see T7 as a healer.
No, I want to see an act dog as a healer. Going up to people and slobbering on them. It'd be hilarious if they have this like green goo on them after they got healed.
They just kind of like shake their head like a wet dog and just like throw green slime at people to heal them.
Yeah.
The Nickelodeon act dog.
That's right.
Do you think that the companions like that will actually be able to heal, or will they just be damage or tank?
They said all 3 roles, so
Even for the cartel ones?
I believe so. Is my understanding is that they just can't craft and sell your vendor item. Which, considering I have a Revan statue, it's like I really don't send my companion to sell trash anymore.
That's bull crap. I can send a ferret in Torchlight 2 to go sell stuff for me. Why can't I send an Act-Dog in Star Wars universe?
Probably because the ferret's smarter.
I just want the Act-Dog to have one of those collars with the big barrel around its neck like the St. Bernards in the old Looney Tunes. That's how he heals you. Like, your character just hits the dirt and he comes over and just pours booze in your mouth.
The barrel into your
Alright, well, we have some stuff to talk about tonight. Lou, yes, you went to New York City Comic-Con this time and went to the SWTOR Community Cantina.
Yes, I did. I actually had to work that day, but I did catch a couple of hours of the New York Comic Con at the Javits Center, and then I actually went out to the Hard Rock Cafe, Manhattan, to catch the SWTOR Cantina event. So, let's just say I had quite a lot of fun. I'm just saying that right now just to give you every general. It was a lot of fun. I was glad I went. I've had other opportunities in the past to go, but real life always took over, so I can never go. This time around, I actually made a point of going to one, and I'm glad I did because, this event, if all the cantinas are like this, the amount of energy, the enthusiasm of not only the crowd, but from, the devs that were there, the folks that were there, okay, Eric Musco, Tate, all right, Michael Backus was there, and it was just great to be a part of that, just to see the people out there, enjoying themselves, and this may sound like a cliche, but just to actually see other players in real life, all right? Being that MMOs are, obviously we are all online, okay? So unless you're friends with someone or in a guild and you're all on Vent, TeamSpeak, Skype, what have you, and even then, most of the time, people are just voices to one another on these programs, okay? So then to actually see other people out there, in the flesh and get, put a face to a name, shake hands, say, hey, how you doing? What server you're on? Because that happens to say, hey, who's on Ebonhawk? Who's on Harbinger? Okay, and you see little groups of people just chatting around, saying, hey, so, all right, so we're on the same server. So, what faction are you in? Hey, what do you play?
Then someone's like, who's on Zhong Ma? And a tumbleweed goes by. When you describe that, though, about how we're all players, but you really don't see each other in real life, I just picture you all walk into a room, and it's like that old Christmas M&M's commercial where you guys are like, they do exist, and then all you guys just pass out.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I'm glad I got there early, because originally I was going to grab something to eat before I actually went to the Hard Rock Cafe. Because I literally had gone straight home from work, got changed, went to the city, caught what I could from Comic-Con itself, and then made a beeline for the Hard Rock around 6 o'clock. And I'm glad I did, because by the time I got there, the light wasn't bad at all. They're probably not even, at that point, maybe 30 people ahead of me. But by the time the Hard Rock was actually letting people in to the actual building, the line was going almost halfway down the block. Okay, lengthwise, and this is a New York City block, folks, that I'm talking about. Okay, that's pretty big. So there was a decent-sized crowd out there, and I know one of the fears was some of the fans who were coming in. I wouldn't say late, but coming in at that point in time were worried that they weren't going to be allowed in because of fire department regulations, where you can only have X amount of people in such a space for an extended period of time. So that's what they were concerned about. Because I know in the past, other Comic Cons I've attended in New York City, right, the fire department is literally shut down. They haven't shut down the event, but they'll tell the Javits Center, they'll tell Comic Con, you can no longer let people inside the building. The door stays shut until someone leaves.
Afraid of a Boba Fett cosplayer showing up and flamethrowing the whole building.
Or someone doing the shady business going, oh, no, put those away. Put those away. Yeah, definitely. But I got in, and one of the first things you see was they actually had you set up to where, they gave us the armband, which is the black armband that has the Knights of the Fallen Empire on it. And then they gave you another armband. Oh, I'm sorry, wristband. Okay, and the one that I have is the red one. That's half the Imperial symbol and half the Republic symbol on it. The red and black one that they also put on your wrist.
You could probably scratch the other half off.
Yeah. All right, and then they also gave you an actual little card with the Cantina code on it that you could log into your account and put that code in, and that's the one that you should pass around to everyone to generate the speeder for everyone to get.
Yeah, thank you for that, by the way.
Yeah, no problem.
I jumped on that as soon as it went up on Twitter.
And they also had some folks there from Amazon because at the event as well, they actually, remember, I think Amazon has a bundle going on as well with ToolTour. Okay, I forgot exactly what the details are for that deal, but I believe you get game time and some other little things attached to your account if you bought that Amazon bundle from them. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was on the show or not, but we did talk about that. I think Play and I, at one point, that they had a new bundle out there, and they were kind of marketing it like all of the expansions were something you had to buy individually, because you see every expansion's box art in the picture, but what you don't realize is you get that stuff for free as a subscriber anyway.
Right, because I just went and looked. It's the Knights of the Fallen Empire starter pack for $40. So you get, it's like game time, all the expansions. Let's see.
And some Cartel coins. So it ends up
Yeah.
being a good deal, but they try to make it look like a better deal by having all that box art and stuff there, like you're getting a whole bunch for your money.
Right. I mean, you get like 2,400 cartel. I mean, if you were starting out and you want to be a sub, this is a great way to go. But, if you're an existing player, I wouldn't worry about it because you'll have everything.
Right, you have access to everything anyway.
And they're giving you Shadow of Revan as a sub if you don't already have it come the 27th. So mainly you're just getting the game time and the cartel coins.
I thought that you came out a little bit ahead, though, if you got the game time and the Cartel coins for that price.
Right, because 2,400 cartel coins is $20, and the game time is $30. So you're basically getting the whole game for the cost of 60 days game time and the half price 2,400 cartel coins. I mean, it's a good deal. If you're starting out, it's definitely worth looking into. But if you're already a subscriber and stuff, it's not going to do you a whole lot.
But I think somebody did ask the day that came out, though, if subscribers and people that currently played could apply that to their account, and I think that they said it can be applied one time by everybody.
Yeah.
Just in case you wanted those cheap cartel coins.
The
in a couple
coins.
months sub.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I just don't know if you get like a pet or anything, because Amazon, one nice thing about BioWare is they do refresh the exclusive pet you get when you buy their cartel coins. So, and currently it's all mini Rancors. So, and they used to be like little ships and stuff.
If you go to Walmart, the cards that they sell at Walmart are still little ships. I believe the Sith Warrior one.
Yeah.
I think those things should be unlockable on your Legacy if they're not already.
Right. And I mean, it's cool that they had people from Amazon there to get back to the cantina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and obviously, they had free food, which was great, and obviously we had a, 2 drinks, compliments of BioWare. So 2 tickets if you were of age. Okay, obviously you had to prove it to the bartenders. You got the little wristband there, and yep, you got your 2 little tickets, which was nice.
Lou just walked up and waved his hand and said, "You don't need to see my ID."
Yeah, you don't need to see my identification.
I wonder if anyone tried that. Like, if the bartender would be like, haha, yeah. Or if he'd be like, dude, I'll kill you right now.
Well, no, knowing Lou, he just stealthed his way up there and tranked the bartender and took the drink.
And just walked away. It was a nice setup, though. When you actually got to the main room where they're hosting the actual event. Well, actually, in all the rooms, you could actually hear the music from the game playing in the background. Okay, which is nice. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think there was some of the the actual cantina music that's in the game. Okay, the stuff you hear in the fleet, and also in the cantinas, but also the more traditional scores from the game itself. Okay, the kind of music that when you watch the movies and play the other games that have this kind of music, you're like, I'm going to go out there, I want to kick somebody's ass right now. That kind of music. That kind of Star Wars inspiring music, which is there, which is great. Another great thing, like I said, I got to meet people there, especially one of our longtime followers, like Buckeye. He was there. Got to meet him finally. Also met Chill from TeenyCast in the flesh, which is pretty nice. Also got to see face behind Gaddick Teague, okay, unnamed podcast, which was nice. Yeah, the occasional guest, Buckeye, as he puts in the chat.
Do I want to invite somebody to audit us tonight?
It's okay. Everything is in the cargo hold and it's disguised as tea.
No, but he's Imperial Finance. Nothing escapes them.
It's tea.
I was going to say. I think at one point, though, not even past the first hour, Buckeye, back me up on this if you remember. I think after the first hour or so, I think the bar became open. Open bar for the night. And I think that's what led to a lot more enjoyment later on that night as it progressed. Yeah, open bar. Which was surprising, and whoever from BioWare approved that, thank you very much, sir or ma'am. That was awesome of you. It was great, and one of the things I really do enjoy actually after attending an event like this was the fact that we see, or we've always seen Eric Musco and these folks post in the forums. Sometimes the devs post in the forums, and I think that was one of the best highlights that you actually get to see these folks. Okay, see them, interact with them on a personal level, on a face-to-face level, right? As opposed to just a disembodied name on the forums, okay? And actually seeing the enthusiasm and the energy that they have for the game, all right? Especially Michael Backus, all right? The stuff that you could see when he heard some really great ideas that were tossed out that night. You could see the wheels turning. He's like, you know what? I wonder if we could do that, or that sounds really good. How could we do that?
And other times when you listen to the audio clips, it sounds like he's thinking, "Oh my, this person's an idiot. I can't wait for the next person to give me their idea." Like there was a couple people in the audio, he just outright dismisses them. He's like, "Yeah, hold on, I'm gonna go to this guy."
I wish they would have a board, and they would say, "Here's the common questions and answers. Don't ask these again."
Well, it wasn't actually that bad. There were actually some good questions. There was only one stupid question asked.
What is this guy doing here?
He's got his clipboard. What do you think he's doing here?
I'm taking inventory right now while we're all chatting.
That's tea in that box. And that's tea.
And that one's Streak in that box.
And that's ID 10T.
Oh my god!
Next to those boxes and on fire.
Please, you will write him off.
Yeah, zero that one out.
Yeah,
we write him off as a loss every year.
Every year, that's right.
If Treek ends up costing me less than 10 million Imperial credits every month to keep your ship up running, it's a win for my books.
Sweet.
Wait, you actually pay to keep our ship running?
Yes, your insurance policy. Sadly.
You're also our insurance agent?
Like I said, everything runs through me.
No wonder you're a shady-looking person.
That's why I wear suits all the time.
Made of
So that's why you disappeared during bounty contract week. You look like a shady character.
I'm gonna make sure the tea runs straight through you. Put a little X-Lax in there. Stir it in, Lou.
Those plans only work if you don't tell him beforehand.
He's not paying attention.
Paying attention to what?
Huh? That's tea. Here you go.
Those appetizers we feed you every time are grubs that we clean out of Treek's armpits.
Oh my god.
That's what those are. No, I'm not taking any more treats from you guys.
Are you
That's-
sure?
Called bribery anyway.
Do you want
You
a
could take a
Twizzler?
treat from us.
Want a Twizzler?
No, I remember last time I was offered a Twizzler. That was a poor decision.
They usually are. Speaking of poor decisions, Lou, tell us about the time you talked to Musco in New York.
Well, my first chance to talk to him was actually towards the latter half of the evening, because the better part of it was spent, actually doing the Q&A session with the devs and the cosplay contest, which is really cool. I'm glad they did. I wish from this point forward that they do include that as an event from now on, because as Buckeye can attest, we saw some really great outfits there that night.
I was actually very surprised. I was nervous it was going to be very disappointing, and I had my expectations blown away.
Yeah. If you followed the actual event on Twitter or on the live streams, you caught it on Twitch. Okay, they had that one player, all right, who was dressed as Arcan. Okay.
You mean Musco's twin?
Yes, Musco's twin. All right, in the white armor and everything, and of course he had the mask on, or the breathing apparatus that the twin wears after the so-called events on some unnamed planet where he receives those injuries. And I really think, myself included, I really thought that he just didn't do anything with his face, but when he pulled off his mask, I think a lot of us were shocked that he actually took the time to include the scarring and the mess that, that twin's face had. And I think it was that level of detail that he had put into it, along with, his outfit did look good. I mean, he put a lot of effort into it. And I think that blew a lot of people away, saying, wow, this guy really went all out. Plus, there's also a woman there who actually duplicated her Juggernaut outfit that she wears in the game, that her Jug wears in the game. And I think for quite a few people, everyone recognized the armor because, at one point or another, we've all worn. If you play a Juggernaut, you've all worn one or two of those pieces of armor as you've leveled through the game. All right, especially I think the boots and the chest piece that she had. I think it's one of the more iconic ones where it just has the one shoulder piece on the left hand side. Okay, and I think a lot of people recognize that, which I thought was pretty cool.
I know and boots are the only armor that I ever wear.
And
gotta get some air in some of them places.
The Sentinel. They actually had a Sentinel there. Okay, and this guy, his outfit looked amazing too. All right, he actually had he had a hood. Shocking there for Sentinel's armor. Robe armor. He had a hood. And I was trying to force myself not doing the joke of, hey man, can you toggle the hood off or on? Put that, that thing. Can you?
He apparently could. I saw him take it down.
Well, damn, he can. What? He's probably glitched.
Just like a filthy Jedi coward to hide their face.
And I think I made the remark though when he first came out. I think when Musco announced him, hey, and then as a Jedi Sentinel, here is, and he announced the player's name, and I was just like, hey, fix the class. And I think quite a few people were like, yeah.
I was
the Sentinel Marauder.
I'm surprised they even heard you over the loud sound of unanimous booing.
Well, we know at least Neptune would have supported you.
Yeah, definitely, because it's just the Sentinel Marauder for me. They're the most fun. I have the most fun playing those classes. I mean, I love my operative, but I have tons of fun just playing those two classes, just because. But yeah, he looked pretty good. I mean, he put a lot of all of them. They put out amazing effort into their outfits, and I think one of the characters there that came out, the guy who came out as Darth Malgus, he was pretty nice. I mean, I think he dyed his face and hair. I mean, he cut his hair short. I mean, he buzzed his head, so he kind of looked bald and face and body paint, and he had that deathly pallid look that Malgus has in the game.
It was a very good first one of the night.
Yeah.
He looked more like Beetlejuice than Darth Malchus.
Yeah, but no one said his name 3 times.
That's because they didn't want him to come back.
And I would say, yeah, I mean, he put a lot of effort too. I mean, they all did, and he looked amazing. I mean, that armor, you could see from afar, you know exactly who he was. Okay, one of the most iconic figures in this game. Like, yep, that's Darth Malgus.
Malgajuice.
Yeah.
Malgajuice.
False Emperor, what are you doing up there?
Don't get shafted.
Yeah, who's got a grenade?
Little did we know at the time that he was more legit than our current emperor.
Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. And let's see, who are the other cosplayers that were there? We also had
Wasn't there someone who was a consular?
yes, there was a consular there. And one other, because I think there were 7 people in total who went into the contest.
Yeah, it's someone as a Sith acolyte.
Mm-hmm. And then I think, I think after they had taken a break during the contest to actually talk about the judging, and I think these 2 other cosplayers came in, but these 2 were professionally dressed. I mean, I believe they came in from another event in the city or from Comic-Con itself. And these guys, when they walked in, everyone's like, oh my god, where did they come from? Are they late entries? And I'm trying to remember, because these guys look like the way their armor was, it reminded me more of actually KOTOR 1 and 2. Like the armor sets you got from those games, those single player games.
So you mean Cyber Elf wasn't there as Revan?
No, I didn't see him there, unfortunately.
Oh.
He was probably if he was there at the con, he was probably there during the day. Maybe took a break.
I feel like I know where he was and it wasn't there. Hold on. Let me stalk him on Twitter.
The power of the holo feed.
The holo tweet.
Yes, the holo tweet. But in the end, though, like I said before, I really wish that, you know, this event, to me, it was a success. And I hope they include it from now on in all the cantinas. Because it was a lot of fun. You know, I think it is a way for a lot of these players to actually express themselves. You know, if they don't want to cosplay at the cons, and hey, you know what? Give them a chance to express themselves in the cantina events.
I hope they continue it as well, so I can go to a cantina event and stand outside and throw rocks at anybody dressed like a Jedi.
Fred, I tried to support you and get you to come, but it didn't seem like you wanted to move.
Funny, I didn't get any money for my ticket.
I said I cover your insurance.
You just said you try to support me.
I didn't get a formal request. No, all the paperwork. You know, the front cover page was missing your TPS report.
I told him to submit it. He didn't get the memo.
I sent you that bag that Drake threw up on.
Yep.
You mean I didn't explain everything?
You forgot to include a 4227 and a 3210 with it.
In triplicate.
Yeah.
And one of the things that kind of sucks about having an event like this out in New York City, because the laws out here are pretty strict. The police are pretty strict about that, especially in Comic-Con itself, in the Javits Center, to where any weapons, you know, are thoroughly inspected, obviously, by the NYPD, and you know, if it's too much, you won't be allowed to bring it into the theater at all. That's like they'll hold it off aside. You know, they'll put it in a secure place for you, but you'll not be allowed to bring it into the Javits Center. And so I know for a lot of folks who like to cosplay, you know, sometimes, you know, a lot of characters that we follow or, you know, we like have iconic weapons. So maybe cities with, you know, I wouldn't say lax, but, you know, maybe they're easier or not as strict. Because then, you know, I really would like to see people's takes on, you know, on the operative, on a sniper, okay, obviously the gunslinger, all right, and either the mercenary, you know, the power tech, the commander would be awesome too. You know, the commando or the vanguard would be great. You know, kind of like how if you follow on Twitter, you know, the 501st Legion, okay, how they always have. They're out in the Stormtrooper outfits. They have the blaster rifles and stuff. It'd be great to see something like that at a cosplay event too. And I hope that folks, will allow themselves more diversity and say, hey, you know what, this year I'm going to go as a trooper. I'll go as a gunslinger. Or just go as a smuggler.
Just can't bring any weapons.
Yeah, just can't bring any weapons. Or you know what, see what the rules are, what the regulations are in the local police force there ahead of time. That way you can plan ahead.
No, you could be a trooper. You just show up with one of those things that looks like a really thick vibro stick.
And colored PVC pipe.
Yeah.
That does it. I'm sliding away from Buckeye. His breath smells like rusty butthole.
That's because you gave me Twizzlers. Or what I was told.
You accepted them?
It's still stuck in my teeth from like 3 months ago. They're
Just
really
a few
sticky.
minutes ago, I was watching Treat give him kisses in the mouth.
Oh.
Brush your teeth.
Oh.
Have you ever heard of intergalactic scope?
I have yet to hear of that. I'm only used to Alderanian scope.
It's kind of like a colonoscopy, but different.
Oh.
Continue,
moving along.
Lou. Continue.
Moving along. And obviously, it was great to have Asher, Lady Insanity. She was the Twitch stream host. All right, didn't really see her because I think she had her own little spot on the floor, and I think she was kind of behind some stuff, so I couldn't really get it. Well, from my vantage point, I really couldn't see her. I could hear her, but I couldn't see her where she was exactly. So
She was behind Tate wherever he was hiding from the crowd.
oh, and she was completely behind the stage. Okay. Okay. behind the curtain. Nothing to see here, folks.
That's a reference to a past show.
Yeah. So, it was great seeing that as well. Maybe again they'll incorporate something like that again in future cantinas where you'll have folks in the community being able to take part in the cantina directly like that, saying, "Hey, you know what? They'll turn over this portion to this person, from the community." Because they do such a good job, they're so enthusiastic. Hey, we'll give them a shot. We'll let them host this part for a bit, which I think is a pretty good idea. Hopefully, they may do that. And let's see. Oh, the Q&A that they had. Okay. All right. If you had a chance to catch up on it from the live stream itself or from the other podcasts, especially from GenieCast, okay, Dolphy, whatever summaries they put out there. Obviously, you heard the run of questions that were asked. That were put out there. Okay. And of course, you're always going to get the same ones and different ones. And I really think, though, I think a lot of the great questions and ideas and suggestions that were brought up happened off camera, meaning it was when the live stream was no longer being broadcast. Okay. Remember, the event was for 4 hours. Plus. Yeah, 4 hours. Okay, how long was the live stream?
I did want to point out, though, there was one thing that came up during the actual broadcast that was good to hear. When the developers actually addressed, they started talking about Star Wars Galaxies and when they did the NGE and how it was a big mistake for that game because by changing the game, they alienated the players that they already had. They didn't enjoy the game anymore. And they really reinforced the point that even with Coffee changing a lot of things, they're intentionally keeping the core of this game what the core of the game always was and what it should be because they don't want to lose the players that they've already had.
Right. And like myself, yeah, I'm actually one of those players. I played Star Wars Galaxy from the day it opened till the day it shut down. So I'm one of those players he's talking about to where, yeah, they lost me for a bit, but because it was, with Star Wars MMO, I adapted and, I learned to enjoy the game for what it was. After the combat upgrade with the CU, which was the first major shift in the game, and then the second one, which was for a lot of folks, the proverbial nail in the coffin for the game, which was the NGE or the new game enhancements, okay, which is when they actually broke everything down into actual classes, all right, and they put together an entire series of quests to make it more theme park, all right. As opposed to before, the core game itself was sandbox, open world. There were no levels. It was you just leveled your skills and whatever weapons or abilities you were using. That was it. Okay, and for a lot of folks, that could be pretty daunting because it can be, I won't say complicated, but it did take some getting used to. All right, and you did have to learn how to combine different things together to get the most out of your character, because you could quite literally, just like in other open world, open sandbox type games are like this, to where there's no real way to play, you could literally gimp yourself, all right, and have a horrible experience playing because you don't really know how to put skill sets together, how to put abilities together, how to put weapons, things, everything together to make it yourself more effective in playing the game. All right, but that was the one challenge that, a lot of players who played the original Star Wars Galaxy, that's what they enjoyed. I wouldn't say the level of complexity, but the level of freedom you had to try and experiment with different things, all right, and come up with something really effective to play the game.
Yeah, and they were pretty much just emphasizing that what they're doing with Coffee, they're trying to do a lot of quality of life changes, and that SWTOR should still feel like the same game that we've been playing all along, just with more story content.
Story.
Yeah, we'll give Buckeye a break from counting contraband over there. And why don't you tell us about your perspective of this Community Cantina event?
I thought it was, at first I thought it was fantastic because it was like 6 blocks from my office, so I didn't even have to do anything. I just literally got off work early and just went. It was great. Went at my suit after work, and I was the only one there in a suit. So if you see any pictures or videos from it and see someone randomly in a suit, probably me.
Weird, I didn't even see you there.
Oh, you weren't there anyways.
That you know of. I was behind stage with Tate. We were hiding together.
Tate was on stage. So I thought it was overall. I really enjoyed it. I'm very disappointed now that I've gone that I didn't get there in time last year, because I feel like I would have had just as good of a time, if not slightly better. But I thought it was very well done, except for the technical problems with the start of the live stream. But after that part, got a lot of free stuff thrown out, so that was good. Free food, as we mentioned earlier, some free drinks showed up around 2/3 of the way through. It became an open bar, so I feel like everyone had a good time. And the Q&A, as long as you weren't crowded around Michael Backus, you could get your questions in no problem, because there was 6-7 people around Musco and then 3 or 4 around Tate. So I thought overall it was very well put together and very well run.
And just to be fair, their technical problems were because of the Hard Rock Cafe's wireless, and it wasn't their fault. They were dependent on someone else, and they were having difficulties there.
Too bad you already lost the lottery, janitor.
Was that for me so I wouldn't criticize it?
No, I'm just, we have criticized them about their presentations in the past, and I just want to be fair when it's not their fault, to say, hey, they were trying, but when you're dependent on a third party and you get let down, we got to acknowledge that.
So, you guys planning on going next year?
Definitely. I'm definitely going to go back, especially if they offer free drinks again.
Well, I think they do the free drinks thing every time they show up.
Okay, then in that case, you got me sold. And so it's always fun, to ask the random little questions that really no one else really cares about, but you really want to know.
Some really good questions came out of the end after the official Q&A. UtiniCast recorded a bunch of them. And I did notice that the devs seem to be getting heavily influenced by Bad Feeling Podcast, because there's a lot of F-bombs dropped during that Q&A.
Though their answer, or Bacchus' answer about the sabacc table was hilarious, even though it's explicit.
Yeah.
We're just effing with you.
Yeah. Yeah, Paige, somebody actually asked about that sabacc table on the SLS and why it was clickable, and they said that they did that just to F with people.
But that was one of the questions that I hated, because that's been asked before, like 3 times.
Yeah, that and the one about the escape pod on the ships. That, that's understandable, because some folks honestly don't remember what that was for.
Or they didn't play when that was actually a problem.
Right. So, that's understandable. But yeah, the sabacc table and things like that, it's... like you said, Fred, I think some of the a lot of great questions were done after the official stream was cut. Was done, because then at least when that happened, we actually got to talk to these to the devs face to face. Okay, meaning they weren't segregated from us by being on stage and so on. They were actually in the crowd with us. Like myself, I was actually, Buck and I were actually around Michael Backus. We were with him. All right, so we were in his area and just listening to what other folks were talking and asking about.
Yeah, and a lot of the questions that Chill recorded was actually you talking.
Well, no, I think they did Chill did a great job of editing. Plus the fact that a lot of the questions that were asked, unfortunately, what happened was, I think Chill was recording on his phone. Okay. And unfortunately, the way we were all spread out, because at first we were all like literally on top of Michael Backus, and he did ask for some space so we could actually hear each other and not like talk over each other, and to get the poor man some breathing room too. Okay.
Asked for some space, and he pulled out a brown paper bag and started breathing into it really fast.
No, it just gives some space so that we could all look at each other and actually be in like a nice little semicircle, so we all look and see the person who's actually asking the question. I know there are quite a few questions that he may not have actually been able to record because of I think initially during the first part of that interview that Chill has going, the Hard Rock Cafe was really pumping the music loud. I mean, really, really loud.
There was one point where he actually screamed at somebody else on staff and asked them to get him to turn the music down.
Yes, he did, and they actually did a couple minutes later. So once they did that, it became a lot better because now we actually could just talk and hear each other speak. And even though there were some folks around him who, they weren't speaking so loud, but he did hear the question. So I know there's some stuff that they may have missed because just because the volume of that person wasn't allowed to get picked up by Chill's recorder.
I appreciated that he answered most of the questions, and for the very few questions that he actually couldn't answer, he would say, I can't talk about that right now, but how do you think that should work? So that he could get feedback from the players about things.
Right, and I know for quite a few questions as well, he did amend saying, this is what I can tell you, or he can hint at without giving anything official away, but he did drop some hints like, okay, this is what I can tell you, all right? It's something like this, or similar to what this is going to happen here.
Or the one where he was like, are you guys cool with spoilers? And everyone's like, no! Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much no. And I know one question that was asked, I think it was a spoiler. Well, not for us, we've been playing for a long time, but I think this has maybe been a new player. And it was a spoiler for him. And I think when questions like that were brought up, he kind of stood away. He kind of moved away from the group until it was done. Then he came back in. So I kind of felt bad for him.
So how many times did you have to walk away, Buckeye?
Oh, I wasn't even around Backus at all because I knew that I could get recordings and there'd be podcasts talking about his answers. I went and sat around Musco and Tate for a bit.
Oh, did you get any?
I got some pretty interesting facts from them.
Yeah, what did you find out?
Such as being an operations player, I was really interested in how they test the operations. So they actually have what they call a hero team or a hero raid team. They're all based in Romania.
No, come on.
Cool.
Yeah, seriously. I asked that
this game isn't even available in Romanian.
well, Tate swears that they are the best players he has ever seen, and I guess that puts Zors to shame.
I believe that because in WoW, your best guilds are European. I mean, they will put in the time, and they have the time that they can take to be world first teams, and I'm sure that the cost for employing them is a lot cheaper than it would be in the U.S. too. So
I think that Musco and Tate sat there on the plane ride to New York, and they're like, so what are we going to tell people that talk to us at the end of the cantina to really mess with them? We're going to tell them we got a raid team in Romania.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it's a fact.
Huh?
What other facts did they give you?
That Musco did not hear, or he did not get He Looked Like the Twins until it showed up on Reddit. No one in the office said that or mentioned it. And apparently the Blur guys never even met Musco until after the trailer was made. And apparently that's total... It just happened that way. However, when Musco got back from whenever that trailer was unveiled, I think was it Star Wars Celebration?
Mm-hmm.
Or wherever it was. He got back, and apparently at BioWare Austin they have a big like LED TV screen, just that's the size of a wall. They just had that Reddit Photoshop page up there. That image was sitting there for like a week.
I believe that trailer was unveiled at the EA earnings call. It was the debut thing when they showed off Battlefront and everything else too.
Oh yeah, it was E3. E3.
Yeah.
That's what it was. When he got back from E3, it was up there.
Oh man.
So those were two of and my third and final takeaway was Musco's really short.
Wow, Lou was just telling me that earlier before we started recording.
Well, that's three, and the fourth one is that like when like Musco and like the developers put stuff on the forums, like it's hard to really understand their excitement through just reading text, but like you could tell how excited these guys really were about their game. They really had some very high conviction around what it's going to look like going forward.
This is a good time to be a SWTOR fan, period. Like, the excitement now is probably higher, well, at least equal to what it was for this group of players before launch. Because everybody's looking forward to what's coming now.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that's still here. Most of the hardcore raiders already left.
That they did, and it's just how the game's evolved. But man, let me tell you, story, it's coming.
Man, it looks very promising, and just to see the enthusiasm, hear the enthusiasm in their voices saying, hey, you know what? It sounds hollow when you're reading it on a forum page or on Reddit or on Twitter, but to actually hear them express it saying, hey, you know what? We have so many things that we want to tell you. We want to share with you, but we can't because, you know what? Again, spoilers, and we want you to experience it. Okay?
I don't know. We found out about the Togruta like a year earlier than I'm pretty sure we were supposed to.
Right. And, it's just to hear them go on with it and just to see, future developments that they have in mind. For example, like the interview that Chill has, okay, that GenieCast has, or you hear some ideas that people have that shot through my back. Say, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think? Could we ever see? And it's things that they are thinking about. Okay, things they thought of, or things that they're like, hey, you know what? That would be a good idea. However, again, no promises as to whether or not it's going to be considered or ever go on the wall of crazy. But at least it's an idea that they've heard. Okay, and as before, I think they mentioned on other cantinas or on Twitter or on their pages, like, they've, through the years, the devs have actually received good ideas that they've put in the game because of feedback from the cantinas.
I really liked when, even though it wasn't giving spoilers, somebody asked about the possibility of doing like these companion quest lines that advance, and he actually said that in Coffee there's going to be certain chapters that the whole thing is about going and getting your companions back, and there's going to be actual chapters devoted to individual companions and getting them to rejoin your alliance.
Right, yeah, and that was something because a few of the players that were there, a few of the people that were there, are actually, they're BioWare fans, meaning all of BioWare. Meaning they've played Dragon Age, they've played Mass Effect, okay, or Jade Empire, and BioWare is one of the few game studios that actually invests serious story time and development, character development in the heroes' companions. Okay, they're not just there as fluff. No, they're there, and you're actually going to have a story with them. Okay, if you play Dragon Age, you know what it's like. You know, to really, you know, to gain Morrigan's affection, to gain, you know, Liliana's affection. Okay,
Well,
this stuff you have to go
the
through.
real takeaway to that is if there's going to be entire chapters devoted to individual companions, and he was talking about the vanilla companions, not the new ones coming.
Right.
That means that playing through Coffee is not going to be a carbon copy on every single character, because there's going to be certain chapters devoted to your individual class companions.
Well, they may be generic stories, though. You go here to get your particular companion. I mean, they may have that as one path.
Don't ruin
But-
this for me, Paulette.
I don't know. I mean, you know, depending on the resources they put in. I mean, if they write the story a certain way, they could probably drop in some of these companions. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Right,
Get to the bus stop on Tatooine.
Right, because
Someone's waiting.
I had asked Michael Backus directly during that interview process, was that, you know, are we ever going to see the kind of companion storyline that we see in Mass Effect? Okay, like when you get, you know, if you're trying to get Jack, recruit Jack, you know, you're trying to recruit Rex. All right, something akin to that level. That's what I asked him. Like, you know, can we ever see that level of interaction and involvement? Because yeah, some of the companion quests we have in the game are pretty much, all right, Eric says, yeah, I got to go do something. He comes back, all right, boom, it's over. Okay, and then what? You do the one Deadeye's mission on Nar Shaddaa. Okay.
Don't
Yeah, that's
forget,
pretty
if
much
you're
it.
a female, he sends you a letter saying that he wants to have a litter of kittens with you.
Right, but the thing is, you know, I was trying to ask him, you know, could we ever see that level of detail and development that we see in the other BioWare games that are out there?
He calls them cubs.
That's not any better.
Not kittens, but cubs.
And one thing I'd ask him, like, could we ever get missions like that to where, if again, if you've ever played Mass Effect, to where you have certain missions to where you could have all your companions out, all right, to where you have 3 or 4 of them with you, the rest of them are doing, you know, other missions concurrently with yours.
Yep, and that was one of the things where he was like, you know, the question was, are we going to see any of these missions where you have multiple companions out? And he's like, do you want me to give you spoilers?
Yeah, and you know, and that's something I think a lot of players have asked for years. And yeah, because that's, you know, those are actually the best missions in those games. Most
Or
fun,
like-
you know, most hair raising as well.
Or like some of the trooper missions where you're using all your companions. You know, that's really a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's really
That-
terrible when 4 of them aren't geared.
Right, yeah, and that's, you know, and unfortunately, yeah, it's the same thing that you see in Mass Effect Dragons. If your companions, if you haven't geared your companions appropriately, when it comes to those missions, you will fail horribly because you're like, oh crap, I didn't develop any of their talents or skills.
Or like T7 in the Jedi Knight story at a certain
Yes.
point.
Well, they fixed that now because they got that broken down droid that gives you a whole set of armor for him. The
Right,
trooper
but they
one
did that the
doesn't
whole
have
time.
just like 5 dead people around that you could take off all their armor and put them on your companions.
Well, at least going forward, we don't have to worry about gearing our companions.
But I bet you that droid in the Jedi Knight area is still going to be there with a whole bunch of gear that you can't use for anything now. It's going to all be gray as you loot off of them.
I
Right.
can't put the droid gear on myself?
No,
Doesn't work like that?
No, don't work like that.
Oh.
Just running around naked with a little gear covering up your bits.
Your bits.
Even if you're a cyborg, you can't use cybernetic parts.
Yeah, which does make sense to me.
Uh,
Oh, cool thing too. I mean, they did have, you know, of course, the swag out there. And
Did they have a teacup?
no, unfortunately not. No, sad. Next time, though, they better. And they gave out quite a few T-shirts. I was actually lucky enough to get one.
He was able to stump the developers.
Yes, yeah, that part of the stream where you actually stump they say stump the developer.
What was your
Yes.
question?
I had asked Michael Backus, well, in the crowd, you know, who were the creators of the Corellian system, and I guess the background say, remember, the Corellian system is perfect in its design. All right, all the planets, perfect orbits around its star, the Corellian star. and none of them knew what the answer was. But then once I explained to it what happened, because Michael actually got the connection with the Celestials, he's like, "Oh, well, he's right. You're going." It's like, all right, Legends. I like that. We'll go for that. It's like, wait, Legend status? What? No, say it ain't so.
See, I would have been like, I'd have asked a question like, out of the original Star Wars characters, which one of them died after the last movie? And that one.
Christopher Lee?
Character!
Oh, character. I thought you said person.
And you know what they would have said, right?
Chewbacca.
Exactly, and then I would have been like, that's not canon, you lose! Give me my t-shirt. Not the Republic one. Give me the Empire one.
yeah, the black one. Because the black t-shirt, Imperial... Oh, that one looks great.
If they handed me the Republic one, I'd have just thrown it into the crowd. You can have that.
I actually had a couple of folks come up to me afterward. Like, hey man, you want to trade? No. You know how long we're trying to get one of these? No.
That may or may not have included myself.
You should post a picture of yourself wearing it and be like, look at this, losers.
Sucker!
Suckers!
Actually, one thing I wish they would do for swag or put on iTunes is the music from the game. I think they would make some nice money selling that if they can.
No, what they should take for swag? A backpack that looks like Treek, where you unzip her mouth and put stuff in there.
Well, which music, Pelly? The actual score or the Cantina music, the fleet music?
All of it. Remember when they launched the game, they had all that stuff on Facebook that you could download?
Yeah.
And then there was the CD and the collector's edition. I mean, if they would make that... Me too. If they'd make all that available for people to buy, I think they would... I wouldn't necessarily say it's a great profit center, but it would make them some steady money, and it would be a great thing to hand out at the community cantinas. Because I know they were handing out the book. Someone, I think Neptune said, I can't remember the guy's name who was the Jedi record keeper on the original website that was explaining the history leading up.
Nosteral.
Yes, Master Nosteral. Yes.
Yeah, because Neptune said they got up to the line and they ran out of books just when they got there. Which was funny. But, you know, if they could do things like that, I think the fans would appreciate it, because that's another thing that people love. Because I love the music of the game. There's a lot of fun stuff. Even though it's not necessarily John Williams, it's still, a lot of it comes from the other KOTOR games and stuff that they've created. So, you know, there's an idea for them.
You know, I thought that Bad Feeling made that argument early on in their show's history, and then they found out that some of these songs are made by John Williams.
Right. Well, some of them are. And then others are like, from KOTOR 2 is Mark Grisky, you know, Jeremy Soule, like when you go to Manon, and, you know, other people that did it. But, you know, they have a lot of cool stuff there that they, you know, even if they can't sell it, see if they can make copies of it. Because, like I said, they made it available freely on Facebook. Is just press some DVD, you know, CDs and hand them out, or put them on USB sticks and hand them out.
That could be something Musco can do on slow days.
Yeah,
sit there burning CDs all day.
Yeah, and you know, I think it'd be great too, because they also handed out they gave away a Sports Encyclopedia and the art book as well. And I really wish they had brought more of those, because those are really sweet. I really wanted to get one of each. They'd had it, but they only had one to give away. I was like, damn. Because those things were really nice. I mean, myself, you know, being a big lore nut, I definitely would have loved to get my hands on both of those. You know,
they're sweet books. Yeah,
exactly. You know, maybe things like that. It's more things like that, and even I was kind of able to. I know in past cantinas they've given away the flash drives with the actual, you know, stuff on it, information on it.
Yeah, they quit that for some reason.
Yeah. So I think it would have been nice to, if they bring that back, maybe another future Cantina event to where they'll actually do it to where maybe, hey, you know what? It'll look like a lightsaber hilt. Okay? Yeah. Or it looks like one of the speeders in the game. It'll look like the Curliest Baron. Right?
Plug it in and it fries your computer.
Yeah, exactly. Or it looks like, the power droids in the game, the Gronk droid.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Or have some flash drives that they could give out the general public people that has the installation file to install SWTOR.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Play our game. Play for free.
Play,
it just says play for free on one side and has the Star Wars logo on the other.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Yeah, here's the
that's
files.
An excellent idea.
All right. Well, I think it's about time that we start closing out for tonight. So, Paige, what's going on in our SWTOR community?
In your SWTOR community, you can check out our fellow SWTOR podcasts. Most of them are available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and at SWTORnetwork.com. We have Corellian Run Radio at CorellianRun.com. There's OMTiniCast at OMTiniCast.com. SWTOR Escape Podcast at NewOverlords.com. The Usual Podcast at TheUsualPodcast.com. We have some friends on iTunes, Passionately Casual Podcast, Old Republic Radio, and It's a Trap Podcast. Finally, we have Bad Feeling Podcast at badfeelingpodcast.com. Be warned, that's an explicit podcast. Also follow Madmore at SWTOR Family for the latest happenings in the SWTOR community. And if you'd like to have your podcast listed on this segment, send us an email at starwarsbeyond@gmail.com. I noticed the notes don't say anything, though, about the GGC that was recorded on Saturday the 10th. I believe it's already been put up, hasn't it?
You mean yes. GGC number 10 that was hosted by Marshall Carr of the Usual Podcast and
I
also
was there.
Featured Captain Kimbray destroying everybody's lives?
They probably cut out all the horrible things I said.
And I'm going to tell you how you can get a hold of us. You can find out more about our show at StarWarsBeyond.com. You can like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/StarWarsBeyondPodcast. You can send us an email to StarWarsBeyond@gmail.com. And you can tweet us. The show is at Star Wars Beyond. I'm at Sith Lord Corv. Lou is at GamerGuy11B. Paige is at Asa Fiery. Pele is at Wild Piper. And our last late arrival here, Buckeye, is at SWTOR Buckeye. And now it's time for our final thoughts, starting with Buckeye.
Well, it was a little late checking inventory tonight, but always happy to join you guys, even at the last minute.
I think you never got off our ship.
And my final thoughts are, it was good to see the positive vibe coming from the cantina. I mean, we've been getting concrete information. The community as a whole is really much more upbeat and positive. I mean, no, not everybody's getting everything, but we all seem to be ready for the expansion and, looking forward to it in a good way.
My final thought is early access next week. All right.
Hey, my final thoughts. I'm really glad I went out to the cantina. Hey, got to meet some real life folks like Buckeye, okay, like Jill, Ichinicast, and actually get to meet Mark Bacchus, or Musco, Tate, all them, which was awesome. And looking forward to the next cantina event. They hold one in the area, or one in nearby city, which I can attend. I'll definitely make time to go to it. And I seriously cannot wait for next week. Early access for subscribers. Hey, can't wait to start going into it and seeing and experiencing the new game, the new expansion for the game.
Okay, and for my final thought, I have a couple final thoughts now. First off, congratulations, Lou. We have officially outlived our previous show. This is episode 48 for us. We have passed the threshold.
Good for us. Yay.
And my second final thought is a reminder to everybody. Coffee is coming out next week, which means that we will be resuming our usual format. So look forward to that. Look forward to the trivia question coming back. And look forward to Lou's lore segment making a return.
But no one gives a crap about my recommendation of the week.
Beyond the Stars is an independently recorded fan podcast made in association with NSG Productions. And now it's time to say goodnight.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Keep it clean.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone. Thank you all for joining us tonight. See you all next time.
Why keep it clean? BioWare sure didn't.
I've got a bad feeling about this podcast.
That's copyrighted, bastard.
You've served your purpose.